Oh, that's why that wouldn't get picked up. Okay. All right, let's go. What up, Cyprian? What up, Purplish? Kraut, hi. You feeling good today? I am feeling good today. I'm feeling a bit more rested. My allergies aren't as bad as they've been, although they're not perfect. All right, so we are very close to having this metrics upload thing working. I'm trying to remember yesterday where we left off. I remember we were close. So let's just yeet it. Well, we got to do our classic morning mixed flake update. Oh, Kraut, thank you for requesting that song. I have a reminder on my phone to listen to that song. I haven't heard it yet. All right, let's make sure we didn't get uploads. Yeah, we didn't. I won't skip it. Damn it, I just fricked up my password. There we go. All right. Knicks didn't break this morning. We're off to a strong start. Let's update lazy. Great. Cool. All right, so we want to go to... Yeah, this is having like this weird problem where it can't build. That's right. I owe cheers. Could not resolve proxy page server from form.svelte. Oh, there it is. So we want the second one here. Yeah, there we go. All right, chat, we feeling lucky? We got both of our files. Files was still empty though. Why? I have no idea why this doesn't work. Must have got bit by a goat. Dude, that's such a good line. That's such a good line. Mmm. Okay, so we just got an error there. Wow. I just leaked my creds. Fuck. That's so annoying. Why would they log that to the console? God damn it. That's so annoying. How do I roll this? Yeah, I know. I should update that right now. I keep forgetting when I start streaming. Uh, we'll say, I don't know, we'll just keep it. Yeah, I need to roll my password. Reset database password. All right, 1 second, chat. Man, that's so annoying. I don't understand why they would log that. She seems to be. Why would that not work? Wrong password? Oh, come on. One second, chat. I'm sorry. What, Fubar? All right, so my password should theoretically be reset now. Come on. Is it just taking a while to reset? Can I connect on my server? Okay, so that has to be working because that's weird. Okay, so what happened there, chat, was the Supabase client logged my right here. Request cannot be constructed from a URL that includes credentials. And then it fucking logged my credentials to the... Like, why would you do this? I'm gonna go open an issue on Supabase's repos. Like, that's super bad. Yeah, it's super bad. Goddamn right, Purple. Yeah, let me give feedback. No, I'm gonna open a GitHub issue and give feedback. All right, let's make sure we go on the right. It's this one. New issue. Feature request, bug report. I'm gonna say bug report. JS client logs credentials to standard out. Hi, I was working with Supabase's JS client, attempting to get storage upload working, and I incorrectly configured the client. This resulted in my credentials being logged to standard out. The error message clearly indicates that this section of code clearly indicates that it is knowledgeable of the credentials and logs them out anyways. I was also streaming on Twitch at the time and exposed my creds and had to roll them. I don't think the client should log sensitive creds to standard out / standard error. What up, Olavo? Since when are we using Supabase? We're using Supabase for our database, and also we're going to try to use their blob storage. Boom. Okay. That's super annoying. So let's get out of this before I end up doxing my creds again. And we didn't correctly configure the JS client. So let's go see what the deal here is. Okay. Your Supabase API key. How do I get my API key? Is that under project settings? Is this the key? I assume that's the key, right? And that shouldn't be sensitive, right? Because that's a public API key. Public API key. This key is safe to use in your browser. Yep. And I guess I just take the project URL rather than that. Let's try. Your project URL, your Supabase API key. Okay, that looks like it's submitted successfully. But it didn't upload?
Speaks the gospel of the camel. I speak the gospel of the dunes.
Thank
The
you for
sound
the
is in my
2-month subscription
ride a camel
streak.
with me
Wrapped, super
today.
appreciate you. The Wrapped asked, or not the Wrapped, Disgruntled Data. Wait, who asked something? There we go. Arshad, sorry. Hi, in your country, if a person working as a full-time software engineer allowed to work part-time as a freelancer? It depends on your employment contract. I am allowed to work freelance, but I have to get it approved by the lawyers at Vercel. So the project, the project I'm working on right now has been approved by Vercel for me to work on. Yeah, I work at Vercel. I work at Triangle Corp, yes. That is my day job. By the way, Working for sale, by the way. I forgot my black hoodie this morning, so that might be part of the problem. How when I didn't have this information? For example, with my contract, I have permission to do certain freelance projects. Others I have to get permission. Yeah, yep. That's how it is a lot of places in the U.S. Unfortunately, places can like shut you down, period, from working on like some employment contracts are really aggressive and like can even take ownership over like open source work you do. It's kind of pretty fucked. I don't understand why this isn't working. Illuminati Web Corp. Doing what? So I will show you what I work on at Vercel. So I am on the lifecycle team, which I think might even have a careers position open that I can just read the job description for. Yeah, this is my team. In this role, you will collaborate with cross-functional teams to design and develop features that enhance the user experience, optimize conversion and retention rates, integrate feedback loops, monitor key metrics, and ensure scalability and reliability of software by understanding customer needs and staying updated on industry trends. Yeah, so I'm on what's called the lifecycle team, and the core tenet of what my team is responsible for, here you can see the Vercel team. Vercel is hosted on Vercel. What Lifecycle is responsible for is like the core piece is upgrading and downgrading and all of the data, systems, and UX around upgrading and downgrading. Yeah, and we also randomly own domains. I don't know why we own domains, but I also work on domains sometimes. Kind of random, but we own it for the minute. So that's me. But Vercel is like AWS but cute. Kind of, yeah. We make a lot of really good dev tooling and tools for like product and marketing around dev work. Not like is so where does the life cycle end? So like it would be the life cycle of users and teams from the time they sign up to the time they churn. Like we kind of own that whole flow and helping point them to products they might not know about, making sure that it's easy to upgrade, making sure that it's easy to downgrade, things like that. I can talk about our interview process too, if you're interested, Dev. It's the hardest part of our interview process is getting a phone screen because of how many people apply. Raimu, I miss Raimu. I used to raid him often. He's a good streamer. Yeah, okay, so let me figure out why this file didn't update quick. I'm gonna add this to my harpoon here. And then we can go to you. Yeah, I want to log in here. We're actually gonna do an await on this. And rather than this being an array of promises, we're gonna just ignore that for now. And we're gonna await each file. And this is gonna be a result. And we'll say if result.error does not equal null. That means we got an error. Console.log upload error. And then we'll log that. Result.error.message, I guess. We'll just log the actual error. And then we'll return a fail of 500 with files. Okay. So while I'm getting ready to run that, so our interview process for Vercel looks like the phone screen. So once you get the phone screen, you'll talk to one of our recruiters, and they're awesome. Like, I've done a lot of interviewing over the 10 years that I've been a professional software engineer, and our recruiters are fantastic. So talk to them, and then you'll get moved on to either a conversation with a hiring manager, or you'll go right into our technical rounds. Generally, our technical rounds are, we have 2 to 3 technical rounds, and it is a live code interview focused on data structures and algorithms, but I wouldn't really call it like a leak code interview. Like, if you had to compare it to a leak code problem, I'd put it as like a leak code easy at best. Like, it's the problem's like pretty realistic too, and we have you do the interview in a tool called RustPad, which doesn't have like LSP support. It doesn't compile, but it has syntax highlighting for like basically every language. So the premise of that is like, we care more about you talking through and iterating on your solution rather than having like syntactically correct code. Like, we don't care if it compiles. We just want to hear you work through the problem and like basically pair program with us. So that's that interview. Then we have a systems design interview, which is your just run-of-the-mill systems design. I wouldn't say it's tricky. It's not a overly hard question. Like, if you've done any prep for system design interview questions, like, you should be able to pass our systems design interview. And then some teams do what's called a reverse deep dive, where you'll be given a code sample and asked to explain it, talk through it, talk about trade-offs, how you might change it, improve it, if there's any bugs. So that's the 3 technical bits. And then the last part of the interview is like a values interview and a talk with a engineering director. But yeah, I would say the technical portions aren't stupid difficult. Like, they're very, I'd say they're good at weeding out people who don't have the technical chops, but they're also not like gotcha questions like leak code or anything like that. Hopefully that was insightful. All right, let's see if this, we should have a little bit more data here. Let's grab foo, upload. There we go. Unauthorized invalid signature. Okay. Oh, I have an idea. I think I need to grab that other key. I think I need this one. I'm gonna blur quick. But yeah, Dev, if you end up applying at Vercel and get past resume screen, I can definitely we can chat a little bit more, and I can help you prep a little bit without like giving anything away. And that goes for everyone in chat too. Like, even not even just for Vercel. Like, if anyone ever wants to just like chat interview prep or job hunting, or like really just any help with software in general, like, I am more than happy to chat and help with stuff. So don't feel intimidated to ask questions around that stuff. how many steps in the interview process? It depends on team, but there are 2 to 3 technical stages, one like values, soft skills interview, and then a like 30-minute conversation with a recruiter and a 30-minute conversation with a director of engineering. So like, I don't know how many you want to call that, like 5, maybe 6. Which I still think is too much, to be honest. There was a great article recently from Gabrielle Gonzala. Hold on, let me finish doing this. I just got myself so fucking nerd sniped and ADHD ridden. Hold on, I need to finish updating this stupid environment variable before I forget. DB key. I'm assuming that's that. Almost just docs my shit again. Okay. How many steps? Yeah, we talked about how many steps. My greatest barrier to entry is geography, to be fair. Oh yeah, we hire basically all of the Americas, and then bits and pieces of all of the UK, and then bits and pieces of the EU. Like I know Germany's good. I think France is good. I think maybe Spain is on there. Yeah, I don't think we hire from Africa at this point. I think we used to hire globally when we were a smaller company, and then I think like it's just a ton of like logistics and tax paperwork and legal stuff for like HR and legal. So we are slowly expanding where we hire. All right, do we think this is gonna work? You hiring developers? Yeah. Vercel is hiring. Go check out our careers page. Boom, 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 boom. If you see something that interests you, I can definitely talk about it. Yeah, sorry, disgruntled dev. I wish we could hire globally. Hopefully, as we continue to grow, we'll work on putting the time and money into expanding our like HR and legal logistics for hiring and pay and stuff. Fun run dev. Okay, let's go back here. It's the old refresh. What is your skill set? What do you work on? Or what do you like to work on? What do you work on and what do you like to work on? I'm a mobile dev, iOS. Nice. Do you do a lot of React Native? I like to work on everything. This is interesting. We're like stuck in a promise, right? There has to be a timeout coming. So we're here. We would expect to see either upload successful or a failure return. Well, it looks like we did get a return here. Type failure. We got a 500. Why wouldn't we have seen... Oh, I'm an idiot. I put this in the wrong fucking spot. So I think we might have actually got the upload. Let's check this again. Let's go to storage, performance metrics. Let's go. There it is, chat. File upload. Is it only US, Germany, UK, or Canada for dev positions? Generally, those are the places. There are a couple other EU countries. Like I want to say France and Spain are also on the list of countries we can hire from. Fubar, if you see a position you're interested in and you're not in one of those countries, but in the EU, like DM me on somewhere and we can chat and I can reach out to HR and get some questions answered. Okay, file upload is working. All right, let me go tell the client that file uploads are working. Then I have that. Whoa, that's not what we wanted. Probably want to talk with you over Zoom before I dive into parsing the data. Okay, dope. All right, let me catch up on chat here. I also build apps for fun. Let me catch up. Heavily on React Native, yeah, but for fun I do Electron, Golang. My greatest time spent is trying to integrate Rust and React Native. That's an interesting project. Disgruntled Dev, do you know who Caddy Cramen is? She works at Expo? She's the principal engineer on Expo. Okay, so we can go back to, yeah, let's fix this. I used to work with Caddy. Caddy is awesome. She's one of my favorite people. Chat, if you don't know Caddy Cramen, you should 100% follow her. I don't want to blow up her LinkedIn. Give her a follow on Twitter, and then also go check out her front-end master course. Her front-end master's courses on React Native are so good. She's very good people. I couldn't think of a better person to be leading Expo. Yeah, I worked with Caddy when I worked at Formidable. Let's see here. So how do we want to handle errors here? Do we want to bomb out if any one file doesn't upload? Formidable 2, damn, you've been around. Formidable is the job that changed my the trajectory of my career, for sure. I started working at Formidable in 2017, late 2017, 2018, somewhere in there. Before that, in fact, let's just talk through my career journey here. Now that we're at like a good little pause point. LinkedIn. I also worked at a startup called Main Street, and I worked with a guy that was at LinkedIn very early and was there when they got acquired by Microsoft and made so much freaking money. I'm so jealous. So here's my journey as a software engineer. I got really lucky in college because I've talked about my college before, um, but I'm basically self taught. My CS program was a joke and fell apart while I was there for a variety of reasons. And I got really lucky that I landed an internship with State Farm. So I interned at State Farm 2 or 3 summers in a row while I was in college, and they gave me a full time offer when I graduated to work on enterprise Java stuff and some front end JavaScript. And they basically said, hey, you can go full time and live in central Illinois at our headquarters, or you can, um, or you can just move out to Phoenix, Arizona to our tech hub that we're opening. And I said, as much as I love the cornfields of Illinois, I'm going to Phoenix, Arizona. So I went out there, and long story short is I got hired as a level 2 engineer without me knowing it. And my manager, which is crazy, also thought I was level 1 and went to promote me like 6 months in. And I got hired at the same salary as all the engineer ones. And then my manager couldn't give a on the spot raise. So all the people I started with, I got hired at engineer 1, were making the same amount as me and getting promoted to engineer 2, which I already was, and ended up making like 12 to 20,000 more dollars than me, despite me on paper, well, not just on paper, but me actually performing better than the majority of the people I got hired with, but I was making significantly less. So I started interviewing to try to get a counter offer, and I ended up getting an offer from this company called Visionist, and they basically doubled my salary. I knew State Farm wasn't gonna match that. So I moved back to the East Coast, worked at Visionist, which was a small defense contractor. And I did defense contracting for the DoD, so basically all the 3 letter agencies. Most of my work was for NSA. I did a relatively big project for FBI and NSA jointly. Um, I did some stuff with NSA and the Australian Air Force randomly. But that was a cool role. But around the end of that job, I was coming up for my security clearance renewal. And many of you already know this, but I'm divorced. My ex wife had an affair. Right around the end of that job, I found out that she was having an affair, and I went into therapy. And my security officer basically told me that there was a good chance that my security clearance wasn't going to get approved because I was getting mental health treatment, which is fucked up on so many levels. Um, and around the same time, I was working on that NSA Air Force project, which involved this is unclassified, so I can talk about which involved building some radar charting software, which was basically used to stream data back from F-35's radars in real time to radar analysts. And I was replacing this tool that these radar analysts were using. And these radar analysts are not like software engineers at all, right? Like they're technical in that they know engineering and math, but not software engineering. The tool suite they were using was a Eclipse plugin to analyze radar data. Like, just think about that for a second. We had radar analysts, and so did Australia. Signals analysts would load up Eclipse in a skiff to analyze radar data, despite not knowing what Eclipse is. Like, Eclipse is dog water to start with. It was terrible. So I was rebuilding this. I was rebuilding this software, and we were building it as basically client server architecture. So we had a SPA. I was writing the front end in React, and uh, I was a huge fan at the time of Victory Charts, which was a React charting library. Still is. Formidable got bought by a company called Nearform, so that's why it has Nearform. But Victory Charts was like the best React charting library in like 2017 to like 2021. Like, and it's still, I still think it is one of the best APIs of like any charting library in the React ecosystem. I couldn't use Victory because Victory, at least on browser only renders to SVG. They recently released a native version of Victory that does some like native stuff, but at the time it didn't, and it in the web it still renders to SVG. And when you're dealing with radar signals and signals analysis, like there's a fuck ton of data. Like these radar analysts are looking at like they're looking at like tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of data points at a time. So like trying to load a chart with anything more than like 2,000 SVGs in it in React, well, not even just in React, any charting library trying to chart 2,000 plus SVGs is dog water slow. What up, Raiders? What up, DevDab? Happy hump day. We are talking about my career journey at the moment. And we are at the part where DevDad and I were actually neighbors. DevDad and I lived about, I don't know, 3 to 4 minutes apart for several years, and we didn't know it until maybe 8 months ago. So I'm working on building this charting library. I want to use Victory, but I can't because there's too many data points with radar data. So I start building a charting library that renders to Canvas, and that's GPU accelerated. And I'm working on trying to copy as much as I can Victory's API. At the time, one of the maintainers of Victory was Ken Wheeler. So, and another one was Lauren Eastridge. So they were like the two people working on Victory at Formidable at the time. So I was DMing them on Twitter and talking with them on GitHub issues, talking about how I could effectively kind of like use a Victory model, but with rendering to Canvas. And at one point, Ken Wheeler just told me to apply at Formidable. And at the same time, my security officer is telling me that there's a good chance that my security clearance isn't going to renew because I was going to therapy because I found out my ex-wife was having an affair, so I applied at Formidable, got the job, and then got to work at Formidable for, that's actually closer to 3 years. But I worked at Formidable for 3 years, and that was like hands down that's what changed my career. Like, this will forever be the most important job I've ever had. I got back in like 2017 to 2020. Formidable employed like a bunch of the top JS devs in open source. Like we had React and React Native team members. I got to do consulting for this entire time. I was dropped into dozens of companies ranging from Google to Starbucks to Fortune 500s to startups. So I got to see a ton of engineering cultures and the way people do things, and got to learn from some really, really, really smart, talented, and kind people. Eventually jumped to this company called Main Street, which was a tax credit R&D startup, which was an absolute dumpster fire. Like, I could talk for an hour about this place. Just so bad. Someday I should just plan out like 30 minutes to talk about Main Street specifically. Main Street, I was the lead billing engineer, and when I took over the original billing system. And this billing system, just a couple things. One, you could launder money if you knew what you were doing. Two, we were violating Stripe's terms of services with our Stripe Connect platform. Three, we had no real contract, despite what we were calling giving 0% interest loans through Stripe Connect. The billing system literally just lost track of about $13.5 million I ended up tracking down and recovering. If you missed a payment or failed a payment, we lost track of you and just kept giving you the services for free. I'm pretty sure that the CEO defrauded investors. Yeah, it was just an absolute dumpster fire. So bad. So, and this is right around the time like the tech industry started having layoffs and hiring squeezed up. And we had layoffs at Main Street, and I got golden handcuffs to stay. They literally gave me like a $65,000 raise to stay because I was the only person that could, well, there was me and another engineer were the only two people that knew how our billing system worked at all. Like, we had to manually run billing day once a month, and really I was the only person that could do it. So they gave me a $65,000 raise to stay. They gave me literally 20,000 shares, which, you know, are worth nothing. But I got to rebuild our billing system from scratch, from the ground up. And I had built a billing system before during my time at Formidable. So I had experience building billing systems. So I rebuilt that, and literally the day we shipped to prod and things were working successfully, I put in my 2 weeks notice, and I got hired at this company called Scalum, which was also a very important job. Scalum was a institutional DeFi company, so it was crypto, but it didn't deal with like URI, right? It dealt, like, our customers were hedge funds, banks, things like Bloomberg, like financial institutions, right? We gave them access to DeFi trading. And I'm not a huge crypto person, but like this was a genuinely cool company to work at. There was like 14 people. I was very burnt out from Main Street because this was like just like every day, like 14-hour days of like high pressure, like things going wrong in billing, millions of dollars, like just dealing with millions of dollars every day, and customers being pissed and losing money. Like, it sucked. So I got to go to Scalum, and I got hired as the lead front-end engineer to write React, but I've been full stack my whole career. And the cool thing about Scalum, and this is right around the time I started streaming, all of Scalum's services, including some of the front-end stuff, was in OCaml. So I learned OCaml here, and got real deep into functional programming, and it changed the way I think about programming and how I just like think about problem solving in general. So unfortunately, Scalum, I found out in January of this year, we were shutting down because we got hit with bad timing with one of our clients in the EU. Yeah, we had to shut down early this year, and then one of my former coworkers, actually my manager now, had been working at Vercel for 2 or 3 years, and we had been talking about me joining her team for a couple of years, and the timing just didn't work out. And the day after I found out Scalum was shutting down, she had posted on Twitter that her team was hiring her. So I texted her and I was like, hey, let's try to make this happen. So I interviewed and landed the job, and now we're at Vercel. It's kind of my whole job journey.
Functions describe the world.
So I've got some unique experiences in there, but it's been a fun ride. But yeah, without a doubt, consulting and Formidable is the job that really changed the trajectory of my career.
Functions describe the world.
Okay, so we're uploading. Let's iron out some error handling here quick. So rather than failing here, we want to say, we want to do this. Thank you for the follows, y'all. Appreciate all of you. Seafeld, Tubi, AJ, Erebus Ev. I probably missed some people earlier. I appreciate all of you hanging out. So let's change this to, this is going to be promise. And we're going to push that promise. We don't want to await that anymore. Then down here, let's do const results equals await promise dot all settled. And we'll pass in promises. And we'll loop through our results for const result of results. I will say, chat, you almost always want to use all settled instead of all. Like, you should be using promise.allsettled by default rather than all. Your code will be way more resilient for it. If result dot status is equal to rejected, we will say I don't know what this is going to be, so let's just mark it as unknown for a second. Let's see here. We want to say, what does our result have on it? We have a reason, which is going to be that error. Let's actually make this a tuple of a file to a promise. So we have some extra information with us here. And we'll say file. And that's gonna let us get, why can't I do that? Yank surround inward bracket. Here we go. This will be file result. And then we'll say we will console.error our result.reason. Actually, let's do something more like we'll do add some information. File.name. What's this subset about? Type promise settle result must have symbol iterator. It's in a promise settle all settled. Oh, right.
The world.
We want to take this and map it first. Oh, this is actually really annoying. Okay, I actually know what we can do here. We can say .then, and we'll get the result. And then we'll say, this is where we'll return file results. Promise. Actually, this should be .finally. Oh no, that will be that then. What is the type of this? I'm trying to learn functional programming right now. Any advice? Yeah, start with Gleam. Build with Gleam. 100%. That's going to be the best way to do it. I don't think that type's right. Shouldn't this type be... Oh, maybe it is. Hold on. I don't even know what to type this as. Oh, did it infer? No, it didn't. Oh, I see. There we go. That should be better. Yeah, there we go. What way? I lost you for a moment. I would say build with Gleam. I think Gleam is the best way to learn functional programming. For sure. I don't know what this type is. Result dot if result dot status is, let's say it's successful, fulfilled. What does this have on it? Value. Right. I can't get the index, can I here? Like, I can't do this. For of index. Yeah, Laza. I'm not going to be able to say it. I'm going to call you Laza. Laza, if you go down to the bottom and click bits or bytes, and then scroll down to the green square that says request Spotify song for 1 point, you can paste a Spotify URL in there. Oh, I see. Okay, well, you know what? We're going to do this the easy way then. For const index equals 0, index is less than results.length, index plus plus. I feel like I never write normal for loops anymore. In here, we'll say const result is results index. And then we'll get const file is going to equal form.data.files index. Results. That should be a, yeah. And we'll say if result.status is going to be rejected, rejected. Come in here and we'll say rejected files dot push, and we'll throw in our file. And then after this loop, right, that needs to be a let. If continue. Otherwise, we'll do, this will be uploaded files dot push. I guess I only need the rejected files. So if rejected files dot length is greater than 0, we're going to return fail. And we're going to say with form, or with files, form. And then we're going to say, we're going to have a message. And we'll say some files failed to upload. And then we'll just put in rejected files. Right, this is going to be a 500, I guess. And then okay, so that's how we do that. This is going to be with files. That'll get that, and then we can jump over to there, throw that in there. Does that look great? Fail with files message. Oh, we need to pass in the form. There we go. All right, I need to go update my prettier. This is really annoying. I don't know what default formatting this project has, but it is dog water. Do we have a prettier RC in here? Print width, this needs to be 80. Trailing comma. I do want a trailing comma. I hate these options. Dude, I would be using Biome or Oxlent. In fact, that's one thing I'm working on at work is migrating our giant repo to Oxlent. Just because it has an easier migration path off of ESLint than Biome does. And this is actually faster than Biome, which is wild because Biome is insanely fast. But I'm using Prettier because Svelte's language server requires it, which is kind of annoying, but you know, whatever. I'd rather have a working language server. Yeah, I know that it does, but it doesn't work well with giant mono repos. We have so many custom rules and plugins, and it chokes. We were originally planning on going to Biome, but then after some benchmarking and evaluating the migration path, Oxlent is going to be the better bet for us. And I actually think over the long term, Oxlent is a better bet because of the people working on it. Can I just get like a normal freaking file? Show options. I don't even know what the other choice for this is. Will I get autocomplete? So it's all. What is use tabs? Default, semicolons. Okay, that seems fine. So let's go ahead and, yeah, Biome is, yep. I see a future where Biome and Oxalate marry, to be honest. That would be cool. They have the same goals and general approach to things, just vastly different starting points. Yep. Yep. Totally agree. And Biome is already using OXC's module resolution binary. So yeah, to say Biome is already using OXC under the covers for module resolution. So like they're already like kind of married together a little bit. Though they plan on using their own language for plugins, which I don't agree with. Which tool is that, Dev? And robot, you said that's a weird requirement. What's the requirement? Oh, so they're writing their own DSL for plugins? Oh, geez. I'm gonna look that up quick. Plugin language. Oh, the weird requirement is prettier for the language server. Yeah, I think what Svelte's language server, because we dove into the code base a little bit yesterday, because it felt like my LSP suggestions were slow, and it looks like they're proxying to Prettier's binary, TS servers binary, and then the Svelte like compiler and parser under the covers. So like Svelte's language server, as far as I can tell, is just a wrapper around basically two other language servers and then some Svelte tooling. Oh, they should use Comey. Comey is dope as fuck. If you ever need to do like code mods, Comey is dope and it's written in OCaml. TJ DeVries actually used to work with the guy that makes Comey, and that's the guy that put TJ onto OCaml. Let's go, OCaml. GritQL. Interesting. They settled on Grit. That's interesting. I'll have to let my the team I'm working on that evaluation with know that. Okay, so I think we got everything. I just relinted everything. I swear I saw an error in here somewhere. Maybe not. Whatever. All right, we linted everything. Let's just add that and do a commit. Update prettier and lint or format all the things. Yeah, I mean, I like Biome a lot. Don't get me wrong. I think Biome is great. I think bio or monorepo, like every time, oh, I've been working in monorepos for basically half a decade. It's hard to get them right, and you need a very, very good DevOps team to get them right. Have you played with Hermes at all? All right, let's go back to the file we were in, and we'll go to, what's your thoughts on that? Didn't that, Oh, that didn't actually write. npx prettier. Is it dash dash right? Yeah, there we go. There we go. Now everything's formatted. How do you open old files? My keybind to do that is space question mark. If I could get it. Or, yeah, isn't it? There we go. It's hard to do on this keyboard. I should remap that. So that is driven by telescope, which is in my config. Telescope, or no, that's my keybinds. It is right. Where is it? Telescope keybinds right here. Leader question mark. It is telescope built-in dot old files. Okay, this looks so much better now, formatting wise, with files. I wish that SvelteKit had like the equivalent of React Native. All right, this seems reasonable. So let's say we get back this data, right? Let me get the dev server going so we get updated types. Morning, Lambda. How we doing today? Shout out to Lambda. Lambda does some OCaml streaming, so you should definitely check them out. Also, the new bridge less React Native arches is a miracle to say the least. It allows using React Native modules and everything else, including React. Just want you to know that I'm using that awesome I'll be on you for inspo for my new office. Hell yeah. Let's go. Yeah, no problem, Lambda. The mouse out of the way. So if we go to, let's see here. It'll probably be in this file. Actually, we do want to go back to the last one. So if we go back to here, we should. I would have expected to see.
Functions describe the world.
So how do I get these fields back out? I thought I could pass anything here.